welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm attempting to dehydrate approximately 9 kilos of onions. The point of the video is, guys, basically not to ever miss a prepping opportunity. In UK, every time there's a bank holiday or any holiday of any kind, the supermarkets do vegetables on a deal, and at the moment they're running them because it's Easter in a couple of days. They are running vegetables like onions, carrots and parsnips and potatoes for 19p. 19p. So this is a kilo bag of onions. It used to be £1.19, reduced to just 19p. I normally wouldn't attempt to dehydrate onions because I know you can buy this obviously in the sort of bulk bags of a kilo. However, when they're that cheap of a price and currently sunshine is shining, so we should be able to use some solar power, I don't want to waste an opportunity. So basically, guys, it's going to cost me around £2 without using the solar to dehydrate if I can fit the 9 kilos of onions in my Excalibur. So we're going to give it a go, and obviously I'll let you know what was the final weight will be. And of course the whole, this is also 9 bags there. I bought about 20 kilos altogether. It's like £4 for 20 kilos. It's just absolutely daft not to. Those onions will last in the fridge for months and months anyway. And yes, I'm growing a lot of onions and I'm trying to be, for the next year, to be self-sufficient, but I do have like another sort of 6 or 7 months before the onions are ready to harvest, if not a bit longer, or depending on the season. So I want to be prepared just in case the crop fails or whatever other reason, and this is a perfect opportunity. So rather than me cutting them by hand, which you can do, but I will be crying like a girl, I'm going to be using one of those like a processor. You can use any processor you want. I'm using the I cannot do that, hold on, there's a button there somewhere, should have showed you that. I'm using the like a mandolin attachment, which is the blade, so it kind of slices them into a small little strips. I was contemplating on grating them so they dry quicker and you have a smaller chunks. However, I think they produce far too much juice and they just might be not suitable. So I'm opting in for this. So the most time consuming thing I would assume is to get this peeled and cut in half if need be, just to fit through the hole. So it's 10 o'clock now, and as I said, we're going to attempt 9. I'm hoping to fit 1 kilo bag on each shelf of the Excalibur. So let me get this prepared and I'll see you in a second. So guys, I've peeled half of the onions. I am going to do like 5 kilos first to make sure that I don't overdo in case it's all going to go to waste and I can't fit it in and I have to do something else with it. So things first I'm going to do is to start chopping them up, and I'll show you how they come up. Put them in. It's going to be noisy. So guys, I will continue off the camera, but you basically can see it's coming up as little slivers like this, tiny ones. All I have to do is just to be able to go through afterwards with my hand and just separate them a little bit before lining them off the tray. I'm starting to cry already, so I'm going to do this off the camera and I'll see you when they're all done. So guys, this is what I have. I loaded it, rammered it, I think pretty well. It's basically short of 5 kilos went in there, which I think is pretty good. Not to 9 kilos, but 5 I'm happy with. So I'm going to ram it on, and I'll probably see you guys probably even tomorrow. It all depends how long that's going to take. I'm going to be moving them around when they dry out a little bit, just to give them a bit more air and more space. But I shall see you when they're ready, and I'll let you know how long it took. So guys, here we are. It took 8 hours. I had it was running for 8 hours. I turned it off and I have left it overnight because obviously that does hold some residual heat, and I just wanted to make sure that it is fully done and of course chilled out. So there we are. This is, guys, what we have. You ready? It's like shrunk a lot. I did say in one of the videos I did about dehydrating peppers, I thought they're one of the worst to shrinking down, and well, onions have done pretty much the same. I did ramp up the temperature to about 60, whatever that was, about 68 in the end, because I think it was just, otherwise it probably would have taken it too long. The color changed a little bit, but they taste absolutely yummy. They seem to be lost their bitterness, but they really have their really sweet, yummy little taste, which is absolutely great. So I'm really intrigued to see really how much we'll get weight-wise after pretty much 5 kilos of the fresh onions. So I'm going to get this out of the dehydrator, put this in the pot here. The pot weighs 400 quid. 400 quid? 400 grams. So I'm gonna weigh this up and see what we have. One thing, guys, it was running for a long time and it was stinky and it was sweating like crazy. Good job I had this in the utility. We had the skylight open, the windows open, but literally it really stunk like a really unwashed person for a really long time. So I strongly would not suggest doing this in your kitchen, because unless you literally can close the door for 8 hours, open all your doors, windows, and let it around, because the whole house will smell. And it lingers as well, guys. It lingers. I'm still walking in the room and you can still smell a little bit of the smell, but it's not like the worst of smell, guys. It's cooked onion, it's food, it is what it is. Anyway, so let me get this stuff out and we'll weigh how much we have. So guys, I've taken all of the onions out and we pretty much filled in the pot. So let's get this weighed. And so that was weighing 400 grams. So we're on 890, so pretty much 900 grams, so that means half a kilo of onions. We do have a little bit of scraps there, the bits that sort of fell off the racks, if you wish. I have a running mini tap, and I call it shit tap. Excuse the French. It's basically every time when I do dehydrating things, especially with my old dehydrator, when the little crumbs fall through right to the bottom of the base, and they're kind of the small little crumbs that I really don't want to add on to my general pots, I just put them in my little shit pot, and it all sits there until I basically fill enough of it, and then I just blitz it together and add it on to my general seasoning, which is a really good thing, I find, because you don't have to waste every single little bit altogether. Again, make sure that your worktops and everything's pristine clean, because otherwise, well, that's no good. So anyway, so half a kilo, guys. I'm pretty happy. So just to let you know, and it tastes so good, to run past, so it cost 8 hours to dehydrate. So it's basically under £2 for me to, in electricity costs, for me to dehydrate them. They were costing me only a 20p bag, so a bag was a kilo bag, so it was only under £1. So technically half a kilo costed me £3. It does work out still cheaper than buying it, and this way at least I know exactly where it's coming from. What I mean by buying is by buying it already made, like onion powder or onions, dehydrated onions. This year I've planted a lot of onions, like I said, and I'm hoping obviously it's going to be even cheaper, more solar power, free onions, so technically it's going to cost me even cheaper. That's providing we have a really good season. Considering so far it doesn't look very good, because it just held it down and we are almost middle of April. Anyway, so as for my storage, guys, because I have bought a lot of onions before. I bought the kibbled onions from Amazon, and I know many of you did. They're white onions and they're quite good, so I've been using them at the moment. So with those onions, I will put them in my little jars. And again, this is kind of a messy jar, but I'm going to put them in the 1 litre jars here and fill them up, guys. And I'm going to let them sit there and condition for a couple of days. If you haven't followed the channel, you know the conditioning. You basically put your produce in the jars and you keep an eye on it, you keep shaking it every couple of days, and make sure firstly there's no condensation appeared on the lid or on the inside of the jar, and make sure that none of the stuff, more stuff falling through, that none of the produce is stuck together, because guys, if it sticks together it will mold together. So this is a really, really important point. So before I will vacuum this, they will sit there in my probably kitchen top to make sure I don't forget about them, and keep an eye on them, make sure they're dry, and then I'll put the lid on and I vacuum seal the lid on the top, and they'll happily sit there in a dark place for, well, 2 years easily. Hopefully, we go through a lot of onions, that's why I bought so much of them, but I'm intending to keep those for probably slightly longer storage. So you can see, look, fill up the jar, lid on, okay, and I'm gonna let them sit. According to what I can see, it's probably going to be about 4 or 5 jars. So I'm going to get this done, guys, now, and then leave them to sit. So hopefully, guys, you find this at all helpful or informative. If you're thinking of drying your own, dehydrating your own onions, especially if you got them on the deal, or grow your own, it is cheap enough, considering my dehydrator is not even the lowest wattage of dehydrating. So it's kind of good. Some of you might think it's not really worth your time doing this. That's absolutely fine. You can buy onions if you use them. You can buy already dry ones, not a problem. But because I am growing my own, I just wanted to give it a go and see how well this thing dries my onions. And I'm gotta say, I'm pretty impressed considering all the negative sides of the noise and smell and the sweaty thing and the smell. I'm happy with the result. So anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up if you haven't, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.